fish. It's tilapia. It's very, very mild. It's extremely low in fat, and it's really good for you, and it's quite delicious. It's a very mild fish, so it doesn't have a real heavy fishy taste. And a lot of times you'll see people trying to jazz it up with a nut crust or a herb crust or salt that, whatever, and they end up doing all this stuff to the fish, and then you can't taste the fish, and it's got such a mild, light flavor that it's almost overdone. This is not one of those fishes that you want to dress up. You want to keep it casual. So I have two nice fillets of tilapia here. It's really, you can actually see the grain in the fish. It's just a really nice fillet, and it's really very, very light. And we're just, because it doesn't have a lot of fat in it, and I don't want to get in really dry, because fish will have a tendency to dry out, and if it does, it gets a little gummy and chewy. We're just going to take a little olive oil on both sides, rub it in. I don't want these fillets to come apart, so we're just going to rub it in on both sides. And again, we want to do as little to this fish as possible. And what we're going to do is always, we're going to season it with a little salt and pepper. Let me get my trusted paper towel, as always, right here. And we're not using a salt and pepper shaker, and this is why. I don't want to over season this fish, because if the salt has a tendency to draw the moisture out, and I want to keep as much of that moisture in the fish as possible, and I don't want the salt or the pepper or any other seasoning to distract or take away from the actual flavor of this fish. And because it is so mild, we want to use as little as possible. So I'm not using a salt and pepper shaker, because shakers have a tendency to kind of run wild. You can't control it. You don't always see how much is coming out. That's why you see a lot of people pick up a little dish and do a little sprinkle. Not only because it just looks really cool and we feel like we're like chefs now. Hey, look at that. But we have a little bit more control over the amount that we're using. So I'm literally just barely sprinkling a little bit of salt on both sides. And that was just very little, and the oil, this salt stuck to my fingers. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing with a lightly ground black pepper. Now, something that you might want to switch out if you don't like a lot of a peppery flavor is use white pepper. White pepper is a much milder pepper flavor. You have a little bit of that coming in the background, but it's not quite as heavy. But I like black pepper, and we're just going to lightly season. I'm using my other hand so I don't get the oil on it. Flipping it over, and because it's my house, I'm using just a little dash of dried garlic powder. Now I like a little bit of the garlic powder, and I'm using very little. You have to remember that dried garlic powder has a much more potent flavor than fresh garlic or roasted garlic. Dried garlic itself, or any dried herb, is going to have a much more potent flavor. So I'm going to take this now and just put it into a baking dish. And I don't want these to overlap. I don't want them to, I want them to be side by side. If they overlap at all, they won't cook real evenly. And this is going to cook fairly quickly. We're only going to have it in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes. I have a preheated oven at 350. 350 is usually the magic number. You're going to hear that a lot with a lot of recipes and a lot of, even a lot of cooking shows and a lot of recipes that you read online or in cookbooks. 350 is kind of like that magic number. So in the oven, 350, 10 to 15 minutes. We're going to look at it at 10, and I'll see you back. All right, it's been 10 minutes and the tilapia's been in the oven. We're just going to check it. Now normally I wouldn't pull it out of the oven, but I want you to kind of get a look at what I'm doing here. I'm just going to take this and just press on it. If it bounces back, we're just going to open this up. What you don't want is that you don't want it to fall apart. If it starts to flake apart, it's done. This is still holding together and it's bouncing back really good. It's not quite done. We're going to put it back in the oven for the last 3 minutes because my oven is a little bit hunky. That's why I always check. So always be on the safe side and check. We're going to put this back in for about 3 minutes. Okay, it's been about another 3 minutes and we're going to pull it out. From the looks and sound of it, I think it's done. It's just sizzling a little bit. Oh, that's nice. And let's just take it a little, and it's starting to flake. This is just perfect. I'm gonna put it on a plate and we'll show you what it looks like. Okay, look how delicious this is. Now before I said it sprang back when it wasn't quite done. When it's finished, it won't compress at all. And this is actually gonna flake right off. Look how perfect that is. It's not dry, it's nice and moist. It smells delicious. And it's not real heavy. It doesn't smell real fishy. It's very, very clean. It's perfect. It's so light. I know that a lot of chefs take one bite, but I'm not them. It's so light. The seasoning isn't overdone. It's not too salty. It's delicious. You can just taste the fish. This is perfect. I'm eating.